Good evening. This is Mary Ellen McKay, Chair of the City of Nashua Zoning Board of Adjustment, and this is the February 22nd, 2022 Zoning Board meeting. This evening's meeting will be conducted in a hybrid format. The meeting is accessible in person and in third floor auditorium of Nashua City Hall, 229 Main Street, and via Zoom at the link posted in all public meeting agendas. Attendance via telephone is available using the Zoom connection details. Minutes of tonight's meeting, as well as audio and video recordings, will be available later at nashuanh.gov/agenda center. Select Zoning Board of Adjustment. If anyone has a problem accessing the meeting, please call 603-821-2049 and they will help you connect. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting via the methods mentioned above, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. The chair is in control of the meeting. To the extent practicable and advisable, the board will follow the procedures as identified in its bylaws. The applicant will have up to 15 minutes to present their application and outline how it meets the points of law that are required for a variance or special exception to be granted. This will be followed by questions from the board. Next, persons wishing to speak in favor or with questions or opposition will be asked to speak for up to 5 minutes. If there are questions or opposition, the applicant will have 5 minutes to present a response. Finally, one and only one person with questions or an opposition will be permitted to speak again before the board deliberates and determines an outcome. A timer is used to manage speaking time. It will change. Actually, the light timer is in here. It'll click off the minutes and the seconds until the speaker's time has expired. If you are participating by Zoom and wish to speak when public input is requested, please use the raise hand option, which can be found under reactions on a computer or the more menu on a phone. The chair will call you in turn. Please use the lower hand option when done. Please mute your microphone until called to speak. Note that all votes are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call. Tonight we will be hearing a request for deviation from the Nashua Zoning Code in the form of an application for special exception and a variance. A special exception is a request that seeks permission to do something that the zoning ordinance permits only under special circumstances. To grant a special exception, 5 points of law are required to be met. These are outlined in the application and will be summarized in board motions. A variance is a request that seeks permission to do something the ordinance does not permit. Variances also have 5 points of law to be met, different from those for special exceptions. For the City of Nashua bylaws and State of New Hampshire revised statutes, a minimum of 3 or more affirmative votes are required to approve any application. In addition, this board will hear all scheduled cases if a quorum of 3 voting board members is present at this meeting. Any citizen has the right to contest the decision that this board makes. Should we make a decision that you believe is in error, you have the right to request a rehearing. A written rehearing request must be received by the City of Nashua Planning Department within 30 calendar days from the date of decision. Should this board not grant a rehearing request, you can file an appeal directly to the New Hampshire Superior Court. Please contact Mr. Falk of the Planning Department for more information. For this meeting, we have the following full board members in attendance. We have Mr. J.P. Boucher, we have Mr. Jack Currier, who is our clerk, we have Mr. Steve Lionel, who is our vice chair, and myself, Mary Ellen McKay, who is the chair. We do not have any alternate members in attendance this evening.
We do.
Oh, Estafia is on. I apologize, Estafia. We have Ms. Estafia Boris, who is on Zoom. In addition to board members, we also have with us Mr. Carter Falk, the Deputy Planning Manager, and Ms. Kate Poirier, the Zoning Coordinator. We will take a roll call at this point in time. Mr. Boucher.
Mr. Boucher is present.
Mr. Currier.
Mr. Currier is present.
Mr. Lionel.
Mr. Lionel is present.
Ms. Boras.
Ms. Boris is present.
And Mary Ellen McKay is also present.
She needs to say why she's on Zoom.
Estafia
Yes.
Are you in the room
yeah,
alone?
The reason why I'm on Zoom is because I was delayed at work. And I didn't want to miss the meeting altogether.
Okay, thank you. And since there's 5 of us present, all 5 of us will be voting on the case this evening. So, Ms. Boras, you will be voting.
Thank you.
Okay, I will now read the first case into the record. Scott and Jill DeShales, owners, 8 Osgood Road, Sheet A, Lot 533, requesting the following. Special exception from Land Use Code Section 190-15, Table 15-1, Number 3, to maintain an existing accessory in-law dwelling unit, and 2, variance from Land Use Code Section 190-32B1 to exceed maximum size of accessory dwelling unit, 750 square feet allowed, 930 square feet existing. This is in the RA zone in Ward 7. Is there someone here present to present the case? Do you want to please come up to the podium, state your name and address, and if the microphone is not, you can move it so that you can speak into it clearly because you are being recorded.
Okay. My name is Jill DeShales. This is my husband, Scott.
Scott DeShales.
Oh. Sorry. We reside at 8 Osgood Road, Nashua, New Hampshire. We're here requesting a special exception to our property, along with a variance to our existing property. Do I begin? Go for it, okay. So the reason we're here was it brought to our attention, we had our home appraised recently. It was brought to our attention that the property is not compliant here in the city. We were under the assumption that it was a legal in-law apartment connected by a door by our home. However, as it was brought to our attention that the permit that was pulled prior to us purchasing the property was for a permit for an addition, not an ADU dwelling. So we're here looking for a special exception to the property. We're not looking to change anything. We're just looking to make sure, again, we are compliant with the rules and looking for a variance for the additional 180 square feet that already exists. As you guys have seen with the outline of the structure, there is a door that enters from our property, entering in, goes into a kitchen area where there is a refrigerator, a microwave, and a stove. It's not an electric stove, it is a gas stove. And then it goes into a small little dining area, a living area, a 1-bedroom, which leads into a bathroom. And there was permits pulled for the electrical, the plumbing, just not for, I think, for the gas stove. Again, this was all in there prior to purchasing the property. We're looking to, have our family, a family member, make it available so that it is, useful for our family, and just be compliant with the city of Nashua. I don't know. As far as, some of the questions that were asked as far as the guidelines, I think we meet a lot of the criteria. It doesn't, if you see the pictures of the home, it doesn't look like a 2-family dwelling. It looks like a one home.
Single-family home.
A single-family home. There's access on the outside, a separate entrance in the back with a small deck. There's 2 front doors, but one's just going into a pantry, one goes into our front door. But in our front area, kind of a dining room, it leads into the in-law section. It's set far back from the home, so it doesn't, as far as structurally or You know, as far as the neighborhood itself, it fits right into a neighborhood. It doesn't look
Out of place.
out of place at all. And again, we're not looking to make any changes to the property. We just want to make sure it's, you know, compliant with the city here in Nashua. Not sure if there's anything else I can answer. I don't know what else to say. Do you have questions for us? I'm sure you do. I don't know. Are any questions pertaining to any of the pictures?
I do want to ask you, on the accessory dwelling unit, were you given the criteria for what an accessory dwelling is? And do you agree to all of the 9 criteria?
I was given information for that. I do agree, except we don't meet the criteria. We're above the 750 square feet.
That's
So-
why you're applying for the
That's
variance.
why I'm
Yes,
applying for the
yes.
variance, so I know I don't, that, and then, number 6, filing, I would assume, that would be something you would file with the county of deeds, or the registry of deeds after?
Yes.
If it, correct, okay, so we don't meet that, but all the rest of them, you know, it's a single-family dwelling, it has a separate entrance, it's a single, again, it's a single family. It is our only place of residence. There's plenty of space. We have probably about 700 feet of driveway and plenty of parking. There's a door that goes back and forth between the 2 units, the primary home and the potential ADU. It is not separated by ownership at all. It's ours. We purchased it, and it's not anything manufactured, as you can tell by the pictures. You have anything else you'd like to add, Scott? No.
Thank you. We just wanted to have that. I'm going to ask the board if they have any. Is there anyone, Mr. Courier?
Yeah, just a question on the, looks like probably the original GM Roth plans
Yep.
that are part of the application, where there looks to be like a kitchen sink and a stove. It's kind of like a circle around it, says omit. Was that your writing, or was that the way the plans, you found them?
Those are the way the plans I found them.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, was that like at City Hall, or was that like after you bought the house, or?
No, that was at City Hall.
Okay. All right, well, that was, I think that was the only question I had, so thanks.
Mr. Lionel?
Not a question, but just to clarify. If we grant the special exception, you are required to file this covenant with the Registrar of Deeds?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
you understand that?
Yes.
Well, I know that you haven't done it yet, but
No.
you will have to do it. Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
that's it.
Okay, Mr. Boucher, you're good? Okay, then, okay. Is there anyone, and Ms. Boraz, did you have any questions of the applicant?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm now going to, there's no one else here in the auditorium, and I want to see if there's anyone else on Zoom that would like to speak in favor of this application. I don't see anything. Kate? Is there anyone here who would like to speak with comments, questions, concerns, or opposition to this application? Again, I don't see anything, okay? Then, seeing that, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to open the public meeting. Mr. Boucher, sir.
You can have a seat.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. The application's very thorough. So there's a couple of things here, is the special exception and the variance. Special exception I have no issues with. I think that they do meet most of those issues, most of those things except for the square footage. As far as the square footage goes, obviously, they purchased the home when this addition was put on. What purpose that addition was at that time, we don't know, but at this point, it appears that obviously it was intended to be some type of in-law type of apartment, ADU. I don't have a problem with square footage, and the reason is, it's a large piece of property, it's a large house. Again, I think the scale of the house and the scale of the property, I don't think anybody would really know from the street that there's a, they're asking for a little overage on the square footage. So I'm in complete support of the application as it stands.
Thank you. Mr. Courier?
I think Mr. Boucher has captured my thoughts. I also wanted to say that I don't disagree with anything on the application. I agree with it. It looks in character of the neighborhood, et cetera, et cetera. I was asking the question about omit. To me, kind of like a little forensics, the previous builder, to me, probably built this for an ADU and then found out, like, wait a minute, I don't have permission to do this, and the easiest way was to just kind of put in writing, this is omitted, and then probably went back, put it in afterwards. I mean, I do have to say that if this were a proposal for new construction, I'd feel like holding the line on the 750 square feet, but it's been there a long time, and it does seem to be a surprise to these owners. And so I think in this situation, it's warranted for the variance as well. So I'm in support of both.
Thank you. Mr. Lionel?
Mr. Courier said pretty much what I would. I mean, if this had been a new application, I would object to the overage on the square footage. But given the circumstances, I don't see any benefit in denying that variance. So I'm going to support both the special exception and the variance.
Thank you. Ms. Boras?
I'm also in support of the variance and the special exception. Again, this property was purchased as it is in 2004. And for all the other reasons that my colleagues mentioned, I would be in support of both.
Thank you. And myself, Mary Ellen McKay, I'm also in support of the special exception and the variance. And like my fellow board members, if this was new construction, the overage would be a concern, but it's established in there, and it's something that was done prior to the people purchasing the home. So I am in complete agreement with the application. Would somebody like to make a motion? Mr. Boucher? Thank you, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the special exception for Scott and Jill Deshays, 8 Osgood Road, Sheet A, Lot 533, requesting a special exception from Land Use Code Section 190-15, Table 15-1, Number 3, to maintain an existing accessory in-law dwelling unit. We find that it is listed in the table of uses. We find that it will not create undue congestion or unduly impair pedestrian safety. We find it will not overload public water, drainage, or sewer, or other municipal systems. We find that the special regulations are fulfilled. Those regulations are the accessory dwelling units. We will be making a motion right after this for a variance on the square footage, but we do find that that the special regulations will be fulfilled. We find that it will not impair the integrity or be out of character of the neighborhood or be detrimental to health, morals, or welfare of the residents. So again, I make a motion to approve the special exception.
I'll second.
Thank you for your second, Mr. Lionel. Mr. Boucher, how do you vote, sir?
Mr. Boucher votes in favor.
Mr. Courier, how do you vote, sir?
Mr. Courier votes in favor.
Mr. Lionel, how do you vote, sir?
Mr. Lionel votes in favor.
Ms. Boras, how do you vote?
Ms. Boras votes in favor.
And Mary Ellen McKay, I also vote in favor on the special exception. So that is 5-0. And Mr. Boucher, do you want to continue and make the motion for the variance as well?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the area variance for Scott and Jill Deshays, owners of 8 Osgood Road, Sheet A, Lot 533, requesting a variance from Land Use Code, Section 190-32, Section B, subsection 1, to exceed maximum size of accessory dwelling unit, 750 square feet allowed, 930 square feet existing. It's in the RA Zone, Ward 7. We find that the variance is needed to enable the applicant's proposed use of the property, given the special conditions of the property, and the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other method reasonably feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the variance. Again, it's noted that this property was purchased with this addition already in place. We find that, again, the special conditions of the property is it's a large piece of property, it's a large house, and we find that, that it is not detrimental to the neighborhood. It fits right into that neighborhood. We find that it is within the spirit and intent of the ordinance. We find that it will not adversely affect property values of surrounding parcels. We find that it's not contrary to public interest, and we find that substantial justice will be served. So again, I make a motion to approve the area variance.
And Mr. Lionel.
And I will second it again.
Thank you very much. Okay. Ms. Boras, how do you vote?
I'm in favor.
Mr. Lionel, how do you vote?
Mr. Lionel votes in favor.
Mr. Boucher, how do you vote?
Mr. Boucher votes in favor.
Mr. Courier, how do you vote?
Mr. Courier votes in favor.
And myself, Mary Ellen McKay, I also vote in favor. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. DeShales. Your variance and your special exception have been granted. Anyone has the option to challenge any decision the board makes, and they have up to 30 days in which to do so. Should you have any comments or questions, please refer back to Mr. Carter Falk or Ms. Kate Poirier. And again, congratulations and good luck. Thanks. You're legal. Almost.
30 days.
Okay, that's the only case we have for this evening. So now we'll go on to the minutes.
You don't have to start, you can go. We'll send you a letter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night. Let's see. We have no motions for rehearing. We did get a new agenda. Did anyone see any regional impact in the new agenda? Did you all have a chance to look? No.
I did not see any.
Mr. Courier, did you?
No, I did not see any.
Okay, Ms. Boras, did you
I
see
did not
any
see any.
regional impact in the new agenda?
No.
And myself, so that is all five of us did not see any regional impact. We have the minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you,
to
Mr.
approve.
Lionel. Is there a second? Mr. Boucher, thank you. Okay. Ms. Boras, how do you vote?
I vote to approve.
Are you voting in favor of the minutes, or?
Yes, I
Thank-
vote in favor.
Approve the minutes,
All right.
yes.
I
Mr.
vote in
Courier?
favor.
You vote in favor, thank you. Mr. Courier, how do you vote?
I vote in favor.
Mr. Lionel, how do you vote?
Mr. Lionel votes in favor.
Mr. Boucher, how do you vote?
Mr. Boucher votes in favor.
And Mary Ellen McKay, I also vote in favor, that's 5-0. I don't think there's any other business to come in front of the board. So with that,
Make a motion to adjourn.
we are adjourned.